Dear students, in the previous YouTube class, we have started with the discussion of KCET paper 2012. Okay, and in that class, I discussed up to the questions 33, and let us move on to the next question. Okay, let us start with the discussion of the remaining questions, right? And what is the question here? Question number 34. Okay, and select the group having, what is the question here? Select the group having only buffalo breeds of India from the following, right? And here what are the different options given here? One is Surti, then second one is Surti, Mehsana, Murra, then Nagpuri. Second option is Mehsana, Murra, Nagpuri, Haryana. Then third one is Murra, Nagpuri, Haryana and Ongole. Then fourth option is Nagpuri, Haryana, Ongole, then Sindhi, right? These are the four different options given. And remember, currently these examples are not there in NCERT textbook. Okay, actually this matter was present in second PUC old state syllabus, right? But now we can correlate this question to the chapter called strategies in enhancement for fruit production. Okay, in that we have studied the animal breeding concept, right? But examples are not there. Currently the examples are not there in our concept, but I can tell you the correct answer for this one. Okay, what is the correct option for this one? For question number 34, option 1 is the correct answer. That is Surti, Mehsana, Murra and Nagpuri. All these are the breeds of buffalo, right? And whereas Haryana, Ongole and Sindhi are native cow varieties of India. Okay, so option 1 becomes the correct answer, right? Okay, next one. Let us go for the next question. Question number 35. Okay, what is there? With regard to the ABO blood typing system, if a man who has type B blood, okay, and a woman who has type O blood were to have children, what blood types could be children have? Okay, what blood types could the children have? Okay, now this is the question, right? What are the different options given here? Option 1 A or O, then option 2 B or O, then option 3 AB or O, then option 4 AB or O, right? And for this question, okay, and actually this question is based on the genetics part, right? Okay, and the correct option will be option 2 B or O. Okay, B, it should be B or O, because if the man have the blood group B, okay, then the genotype of man can be written as IB then I0, right? Okay, so the gametes formed will be IB and I0. Like that, the woman is having the blood group O, okay, and the genotype of woman will be I0, okay, and even the gametes formed will be I0. Okay, thus the child will have the blood group B or O. Okay, and based on this, what we can tell here, option 2 B or O is the right answer. Okay, then question number 36. Okay, what is the question here? Secretin and cholecystokinin are the hormones secreted in. Okay, secretin and cholecystokinin are the hormones secreted in. What are the different options given here? One is pyloric stomach, then second one is duodenum, then third one is ileum, then fourth one is esophagus, right? And here for question number 36, option 2 duodenum is the correct answer. Okay, and remember, cholecystokinin and secretin are the peptide hormones. We call them as the peptide hormones. Okay, and these are the hormones of the gastrointestinal system. okay, gastrointestinal system, and the enzyme cholecystokinin is responsible for stimulating the digestion of fat and protein, and this enzyme is synthesized and secreted by endocrine cells in the enteroendocrine cells in the duodenum, right? And because of this one, what answer will become correct here? Option 2 is the correct answer, right? And let us go for next question, question number 37. Okay, what is the question here? Carbon dioxide is called a greenhouse gas because, okay, what are the different options given here? It is involved in photosynthesis, then second option is it emits light, then third option is it traps infrared radiations, then fourth one is it traps ultraviolet radiations. Okay, and what is the correct answer here? Option 3 is the correct answer. It traps infrared radiations. Okay, and remember this question is based on the chapter environmental issues. Okay, in the last, in ecology part, we are going to study a chapter called environmental issues, right? And regarding this one, okay, and we observe that certain gases in the atmosphere of the earth, okay, certain gases in the atmosphere of the earth which can trap heat, okay, and these gases are commonly called as the greenhouse gases. Okay, and the common gases, say for example, the common gases are carbon dioxide, then methane, then nitrous oxide, then ozone, and even the water vapor. Okay, and what is the role of these gases? Okay, these gases are able to capture and trap the heat in the atmosphere. Okay, heat means what here? The heat is in the form of infrared radiation. Okay, the heat is in the form of infrared radiation. Okay, and this entrapment of the infrared radiation causes the rise in the temperature in the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, and based on this explanation, what we can mention here? Option 3 is the correct answer. It traps infrared radiations, right? And let us move on to the next question, question number 38. Okay, question number 38. What is there? A fruit develops from a single flower with a syncarpous pistil. Okay, and remember this question is based on okay, actually this question is related to old PU syllabus, but now we can correlate this question to the chapter called as morphology of flowering plants. Okay, morphology of flowering plants of first PU, right? And what are the different options given here? One is simple fruit, then second one is aggregate fruit, then third one is multiple fruit, then fourth one is pseudocarp. Okay, and here the correct answer for this question is option 1. Okay, a fruit which develops from a single flower with a syncarpous pistil is said to be simple fruit. Okay, and regarding the fruit classification, we have not studied in detail about the fruit classification in first PUC. Okay, but I will tell you normally we classify fruits into 3 types. Okay, there are 3 types of fruits on the basis of the structure of the ovary. Okay, they are said to be simple, aggregate, then composite or multiple fruit. Okay, and what is the meaning of simple fruit here? If the fruit is developed from a single ovary of a single flower, then the fruit is said to be simple. Okay, syncarpous means what here? There is a single fused ovary. Okay, if carpels are fused with one another, then we are going to call it as the syncarpous flower, right? And here this ovary will develop into a fruit and the ovules will develop into the seeds. Okay, and let us understand what do you mean by the aggregate fruit. Aggregate fruit means what here? A fruit which is formed from the several carpels derived from the same flower. Okay, this is called as the aggregate fruit. Okay, say for example raspberry and even Michaelia champaka. Okay, these two are important examples for the aggregate fruit. Okay, and third one is multiple fruit. Okay, why we are going to call the multiple fruit or the composite fruit? Because that fruit is produced or developed from an entire inflorescence or a cluster of flowers. Okay, say for example pineapple and the jackfruit. Okay, these are the typical examples for the multiple fruit. Okay, and here the whole inflorescence is involved in the formation of one big fruit called as the multiple or the composite fruits. Okay, composite fruit. Okay, and last option is pseudocarp they have given. Pseudocarp means what here? It is also called as false fruit or accessory fruit, which is developed from the other parts of the flower except the ovary. Okay, say for example apple. Okay, apple is a typical example. Okay, we call it as pseudocarp or the false fruit, right? Okay, so based on this one, what is the correct answer here? Option 1 is the correct answer. Okay, then let us go for next question. Question number 39. The volume of blood. What is the question here? The volume of blood that enters into the aorta with each ventricular systole is called. Okay, what are the different options given here? One is cardiac cycle, then second one is stroke volume, then third one is cardiac output, then fourth one is vital capacity, right? And here the correct option for question number 39 will be option 2. It is stroke volume. Okay, and here we need to understand the meaning of stroke volume here, right? What is stroke volume here? Stroke volume is the volume of blood which enters the aorta when the ventricle contracts, right? And the contraction of the ventricle is referred to as systole, right? And the stroke volume is also called as the blood which is ejected out from the ventricle when the left ventricle contracts for one time. Okay, and the volume is measured in ml per beat. Okay, the volume is measured in ml per beat, right? And the normal value of stroke volume is 1 cc per kg. Okay, and based on this, what will become the correct answer here? Option 2 will become the correct answer, right? Then let us go for the next question. Question number 40. What is the question here? The chromosomal complement. Okay, the chromosomal complement of individuals with Turner's syndrome is. What are the different options given here? One is 44A plus XX and second one is 44A plus XY and third option is 44A plus X0 and fourth option is 44A plus XXY, right? And here for question number 40, option 3 becomes the correct answer. It is 44A plus X0, right? And here remember in the individual suffering from the Turner syndrome. Okay, and here one sex chromosome is absent. And what we have studied, the total number of chromosomes in normal humans. The total number of chromosomes in normal humans will be 46. Okay, we mention it as the 2n is equal to 46. Okay, in Turner syndrome, the number of chromosomes is 45. Okay, the number of chromosomes will be 45. Okay, and in normal females, the chromosomal complement is 44A plus XX. Okay, and in the affected individuals, the chromosomal complement is 44A plus X0. Okay, remember it is not XO, it is X0. 44A, A stands for autosomes plus X0. Okay, and because of this one, which one will become the correct answer here? Option 3 becomes the correct answer, right? And let us go for the next question. Question number 41. Okay, what is the correct question here? We have to identify the mismatched pair. Okay, choose the mismatched pair from the following. Okay, and one is insulin. They have mentioned, for insulin they have mentioned gluconeogenesis, and for second one glucagon is there. Okay, and they have mentioned glycogenolysis, and third one is oxytocin is there. for this one, what they have mentioned, contraction of uterine muscles, and fourth one is prolactin. For this, what they have mentioned here, milk production in mammary glands, right? And here for question number 41, option 1 is the correct answer, insulin. This is the mismatched pair among the given, right? Okay, and here let us understand about the insulin. Okay, we have studied already this under the human physiology concepts, right? Insulin is the hormone produced by the pancreatic cells, right? And what is the important role of the hormone here, right? This hormone regulates the level of insulin. Okay, the hormone regulates the level of insulin in the blood by increasing the uptake of glucose by the cells from the blood. Okay, this is the main role. Okay, and these cells perform to break down glucose, that is called as the glycolysis process. Okay, and remember, gluconeogenesis is not performed by the cells. Cells means what here? The pancreatic islets or the islets of the Langerhans, right? And remember, glucagon causes the cells to perform glycogenolysis. Okay, this is correct one. And this releases glucose and increases the level of glucose in the blood, right? And one more option is there, oxytocin. Okay, oxytocin is also called the birth hormone. Okay, because this hormone causes contraction of the uterine muscles, which helps in the expulsion of the fetus or baby, right? Okay, and one more option is there, it is prolactin. Okay, prolactin stimulates the mammary glands. Okay, and this stimulation results in the production of the milk after the delivery of the fetus. Okay, and here only the first one is in mismatched pair, but the remaining three are correct only with regard to their functions, right? And next question number 42. Okay, question number 42, what is the question here? One of the following is not a wildlife conservation product. Okay, what are the different options given here? One is Project Dodo, then second one is Project Indian Bustard, then option 3 Project Tiger, then option 4 Project Hangul, right? And remember, currently this entire concept is not there in NCERT. Okay, and this question is based on the second PU old state syllabus, right? And here the correct answer, okay, the correct answer will be option 1 only, right? Project Dodo. Okay, and now the Project Dodo does not exist. The Project Dodo does not exist, and the remaining 3 are the projects to conserve the respected species, right? And remember, dodo means what here? The dodo is an extinct flightless bird endemic to Mauritius, okay, east of Madagascar in the Indian Ocean, right? Okay, and so based on this one, what is the correct answer here? Option 1, right? And question number 43, visible expression of the genetic phenomenon of crossing over is called. Okay, what is the question here? Visible expression of the genetic phenomenon of crossing over is called. What are the different options given here? One is recombination, then second one is condensation, then third one is chiasmata, then fourth one is spiralization, right? And remember, this question is based on the chapter the cell cycle and the cell division, right? And here we have studied during the prophase 1 of during meiosis 1, and in prophase 1 we are going to study the different stages. Okay, in prophase 1 is again divided into leptotin, zygotin, pakitin, diplotin, and dikinesis. All these are the sub stages of the prophase 1, right? Understood or not? And here during the meiotic division, okay, and we observe a phenomenon which is called as the genetic recombination. Why genetic recombination occurs? This is mainly due to the crossing over only. Okay, and this event occurs and it can be observed in the prophase 1 of the meiosis 1. and during this process what will happen here, there is an exchange of the genetic material between the two non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosomes. This is called as crossing over, right? And the non-sister chromatids of these homologous chromosomes, they overlap, and then the chiasmata are formed. Chiasmata are nothing but what here, they are nothing but the X-shaped structures. Okay, and due to the crossing over, there is an exchange of genes between the chromosomes. Okay, and what is the importance of this one? This will result in the variation in the offsprings which are formed, right? And based on this one, what is the correct answer here? Option 3 is the correct answer, chiasmata, right? Then question number 44, what is the question here? 3 prime AAA, TGC, GCG and ATA. 5 prime is the sequence of nucleotides on a gene. Okay, gene means what here? It is nothing but the DNA segment only, right? After transcription, the mRNA formed against it, and the sequence of bases in the corresponding binding anticodon will be, right? And remember, this is the question which is based on the chapter molecular basis of inheritance, right? And here for question number 44, option 1 is the correct answer, right? And here first we should understand the given sequence. What is the given sequence here, or given sequence of nucleotides? 3 prime AAA, then TGC, then GCG, then ATA 5 prime. Okay, and remember, this strand has polarity in 3' to 5' direction, which acts as the template DNA. Template DNA means what here? It is the DNA segment from which the RNA molecules are formed, right? And for this we call it as the template DNA. And after transcription, okay, the sequence of mRNA will be, we are going to write like this: UUU AC in 5' to 3' direction, it will be UUU UACG, then CGC, okay, then UAU. Okay, the first option, okay, in 5' to 3' direction. Okay, and we mention the polarity in 5' to 3' direction because during the transcription process, the DNA dependent RNA polymerase catalyzes the polymerization in only one direction, that is 5' to 3'. And what they are asking here, again they are asking about the anticodons. Okay, corresponding binding anticodons, where anticodons will be there? Okay, they are present in the tRNA molecule. Okay, anticodons means in 3' to 5' direction, we are going to mention it as the AAA, UGC, GCG, then AUA in 3' to 5' direction, because this tRNA, it has the basis complementary to the code on the mRNA molecule. Okay, and based on this discussion, what we can mention here, option 1 is the correct answer, right? Then let us go for next question, question number 45. What is the question here? Secondary cortex is also known as, okay, what are the different options given here? Option 1 is phloem, then option 2 is phloderm, then option 3 is phelogen, then option 4 is bark, right? And remember, secondary cortex is also known as, it is also known as pheloderm. Second option is correct. Okay, and remember, this question is based on the chapter anatomy of flowering plants. Okay, and we are going to study this term when we come across the secondary growth in the dicot plants, right? Okay, or dicot stem. And remember, during the secondary growth in dicot stem, initially in young stem, the cambium will be there in between the xylem and phloem elements in the stela region. That is different. But during the secondary growth, one more cambium will be formed in the extrastellar region, okay, or outside the stellar region, that is in the cortex part. That cambium is called as the cork cambium, or it is also called as the phelogen, right? And now this cork cambium leads to the formation of new tissues which help in the secondary growth of the plant, right? And remember what I told you, the cork cambium is also known as the phellogen, right? And the phellem, it forms the bark. Okay, the secondary cortex is known as the phelloderm. Okay, and these phelloderm will be having thin walled cells that develop from the inner side of the cork cambium. Okay, and here the cork cambium or phellogen, it divides towards the inner side as well as towards the outer side, and whatever the tissue or cells form towards the outer side, they will form the phellem or the bark, and whatever the cells are produced towards the inner side, it is called as the phelloderm or the secondary cortex, right? So option 2 is the correct answer, right? Then let us go for next question. Question number 46. What is the question here? Pteridophytes are called vascular cryptogams. Pteridophytes are called vascular cryptogams because they are non-seeded plants containing, okay, one is option 1 is xylem and phloem, and option 2 is only xylem, and option 3 is only phloem, and fourth option is neither xylem nor phloem, right? And here for question number 46, option 1 is the correct answer. Okay, and here what in question what they have mentioned, pteridophytes are called as the vascular cryptogams, and here try to understand the meaning of the cryptogams. Cryptogams means what here? The cryptogams are a group of plants that do not produce seeds. Okay, such plants are called as the cryptogams. Okay, and this group contains mainly the algae, bryophytes, and even the pteridophytes, right? And these are the spore producing plants. And regarding the pteridophytes are vascular plants, which means that these plants have xylem and phloem. Okay, and these tissues are together known as the vascular bundles, right? Okay, so option 1 is the correct answer, right? Then let us go for next question. Question number 47. Okay, what is the question here? The enzymes which are absolutely necessary for recombinant DNA technology are, okay, what are the different options given here? One is restriction endonucleases and topoisomerases. Then second one is endonucleases and polymerases. Then third option is restriction endonucleases and ligases, and fourth one is peptidases and ligases. Okay, and for question number 47, option 3 is the correct answer, restriction endonucleases and ligases. And here this question, remember this question is based on the chapter biotechnology principles and processes, right? Okay, of second PUC, right? And remember what is recombinant DNA technology? Okay, it is nothing but the method which involves cutting and joining of different DNA fragments. Okay, now this recombinant DNA is then inserted into the host and allowed to produce the desired product, right? And the restriction enzymes, what do you mean by restriction enzymes here? These are the enzymes which cleaves the DNA at specific recognition sites. Okay, and this will help in the production of fragments and desired genes, right? And this is the main role of the restriction endonucleases. And let us study about the ligases. Already we have studied this one. The enzyme ligases are used to join or ligate the fragments or cut fragments. Okay, and because of this one, we consider these two are the important enzymes with respect to rDNA technology, right? So option 3 is the correct answer, right? And let us go for question number 48. What is the question here? Stomata on the surface of the leaf open by. Okay, stomata on the surface of the leaf open by. Okay, what are the different options given here? Decreasing the solute concentration in the guard cells, and second option is increasing the solute concentration in the guard cells, and third one is weakening of the cell walls of the guard cells to allow them stretch, and fourth one is increasing the water potential in the guard cells. Okay, now listen here. And now this question is based on the chapter transport in plants. In first view we have studied the concept transport in plants, but this question is actually framed on the old Karnataka state textbook. Okay, little bit detailed concepts were there in the old book, but now those concepts are not there in the current NCERT textbook, right? And remember, the opening and the closing of stomata is governed by Turgor changes in the guard cells. This we have studied in the NCERT. Okay, but when we study the detailed concept regarding the mechanism of opening and closing of stomata, the concept will be little bit it will go a little bit to depth only, right? And here during the daytime, okay, and what will happen here, the pH of the guard cell increases due to carbon dioxide assimilation by the mesophyll and the guard cells, okay, and this rise in pH causes hydrolysis of starch to form phosphoenol pyruvate, okay. Then the phosphoenol pyruvate combines with carbon dioxide in the presence of enzyme peptase to form the oxalic acid, okay, which is a 4 carbon compound, okay. Again this oxalic acid gets changed into malic acid, okay, and later this malic acid dissociates into H plus, okay, and malate, right? Then H plus ions pass out of guard cells, okay, and then out of guard cells in exchange of K plus ions, which along with the malate pass into the vacuoles, and they can increase the osmotic concentration or the solute concentration of the guard cells, okay, and consequently they absorb water from the nearby epidermal cells and swell up, creating a pore between them, and finally the stoma opens, okay. This is the detailed concept regarding the opening and the closing of stomata, or just you can remember the option 2, right? Okay, so option 2 is the correct answer, okay. Then question number 49, what is the question here? Remember it is a statement based question, okay. What the question they have given here, read the two statements A and B and identify the correct choice from those given, okay. Statement A, what is there? Agrobacterium tumefaciens is the causative agent of crown gall disease of dicots, okay. Statement B, Agrobacterium tumefaciens cause infection by entering the plant through wounds and injuries, right? And for question number 49, which option is correct here? Option 3, both statements A and B are correct, okay. Both are correct only, because Agrobacterium tumefaciens, it is a gram negative bacterium, it is rod shaped one, and it is the causative agent of crown gall disease of many dicot plants. And what is the special character in the bacterial cells here? They have a plasmid called T plasmid, which have the tumor causing genes, okay, and this gene causes formation of tumor when the plant is infected with the bacterium, right? Then the bacterium enters the plant when there is some wound or injury caused to the plant, okay. This is the main reason, right? And remember the option 3 is the correct answer. It means both statements A and B are correct, okay. And regarding this question, where we have studied in the NCERT textbook, you can remember, okay, in the biotechnology concept, okay, biotechnology principles and the processes we have studied regarding this bacterium, okay. Then let us go for next question, question number 50. What is the question here? Which of the following is the correct pathway of absorbed water in the roots of plants, right? And remember the correct answer for this question is option 4, okay. Soil water, then soil water to root hair cell, then root hair cell to cortical cells, then to passage cells, and then to pericycle, then to the xylem, right? And remember here for question number 50, option 4 is the correct answer. And remember this question is based on the chapter called transport in plants, okay, in plant physiology concept, okay. In it is related to first PU concept, right? The chapter what I told you, the chapter name is transport in plants, right? And regarding this one, the water which is absorbed by the plant cells from the ground to the upper parts of the plants, right? And here in this concept, water absorption mechanism, what we have studied, the water is absorbed by the plant cells from the ground to the upper parts of the plants, right? Then the flow of water is from the soil to the root hair cells by the process of imbibition, then diffusion, and then by osmosis, right? Then the water moves from root hair cells to the cortical cells, and there are some suberized Casparian strips on the endodermis which blocks the path of water. Okay, and because of this one, there are some thin walled cells in the endodermis. They are called as the passage cells. Okay, passage cells which are facing the xylem vessels. Okay, and these passage cells allow the movement of water, right? Then the water moves towards the pericycle and then to the xylem vessels, right? And based on this, what is the correct option here? Option 4 is the correct answer, right? Then let us go for next question. Question number 51. What is there? Usually the whorl in a flower. Usually the whorl in a flower that attracts insects and protects the essential parts is. Okay. And what are the different options given here? One is calyx and second one is andrecium. Then third one is gynoecium and fourth one is corolla, right? And remember, this question is based on the chapter morphology of flowering plants, right? And what is the correct option here? Option 4. It is the corolla. Usually the whorl in a flower that attracts insects and protects the essential parts. Essential parts means what here? Andrecium and gynoecium, they are the essential parts or the whorls of the flower, right? And here corolla can attract the insects for pollination, as well as it can protect the innermost whorls or the essential whorls like andrecium as well as the gynoecium, right? So for question number 51, option 4 is the correct answer, right? Okay, then next one, question number 52. What is there? Wean loading is the active transport of sugars from. Okay, wean loading is the active transport of sugars from. What are the different options given here? One is mesophyll cells to vessels. Then second one is vessels to mesophyll cells. Then third one is mesophyll cells to sieve tubes. Then fourth option is sieve tubes to mesophyll cells, right? And remember, this question is mainly based on the chapter transport in plants. Okay, in transport in plants, what we are going to study? We are going to study a concept called as food translocation or phloem translocation. Okay, under this heading, the question is framed here. Okay, wean loading, or it is also called as phloem loading, right? And for question number 52, what is the correct answer? Option 3, mesophyll cells to the sieve tubes. Okay, and here wean loading means what here? It is nothing but the process involved in the transport of food in the plants, right? And the process of wean loading includes the movement of carbohydrates or sugar. Okay, and here the sugar moves from mesophyll cells by the symplast pathway. Okay, then the sugar moves forward by the apoplast pathway and enters the phloem. Okay, and this process is known as wean loading, or it is also called as phloem loading, right? And the sugar then enters the sieve tubes of the phloem, through which they can be transported to other parts of the plant, right? And based on this explanation, what is the correct answer now? For question number 52, option 3, mesophyll cells to the sieve tubes. Okay, then let us go for next question. Question number 53. What is the question here? Study the diagram given below and identify the cells labeled as A, B, C and D and choose the correct option, right? And here the question is mainly based on the chapter structural organization in animals, and in that chapter we are going to study the different types of the tissues, right? Animal tissues, right? And here this is regarding the blood cells, right? Okay, and for question number 53, what is the correct option here? Option 4 is the correct answer. Okay, and here A stands for eosinophil and B stands for monocyte. Okay, and C stands for neutrophil and D stands for lymphocyte. D stands for lymphocyte, right? Okay, then so for question number 53, option 4 is the correct answer, right? Then let us go for next question. Question number 54. What is the correct question here? The sexually transmitted disease that can affect both male and female genitals and may damage the eyes of babies born of born of infected mothers is, what are the different options given here? One is AIDS, then second one is syphilis, then third one is gonorrhea, then fourth one is hepatitis, right? And here for question number 54, what is the correct answer here? Option 3, gonorrhea is the correct answer, right? Okay, the sexually transmitted disease that can affect both the male and the female genitals and may damage the eyes of babies born of infected mothers is gonorrhea, right? And remember, option 3 is the correct answer. Gonorrhea is a bacterial infection, right? This is a sexually transmitted infection caused by the bacterium Neisseria gonorrhoeae, right? And this disease is often transmitted to the fetus while birth from an infected mother, right? The baby which is born gets infected with this disease. The common symptom which is observed is eye infections. Okay, this type of infections may result in blindness. Okay, they may also result in blood and joint infections. Okay, so option 3 is the correct answer. Okay, then question number 55. 55, chemiosmotic theory of ATP synthesis. Chemiosmotic theory of ATP synthesis in the mitochondrion is based on. Okay, what are the different options given here? One is calcium gradient. Okay, then second one is K plus or potassium gradient, then third one is H plus or proton gradient, and fourth one is Na plus gradient, right? And here for question number 55, option 3, H plus gradient is the correct answer. Okay, and regarding chemiosmotic theory, we have studied in both the chapters called photosynthesis in higher plants as well as in respiration in plants, right? And chemiosmotic theory of ATP synthesis in mitochondria is based on the proton gradient only in both photosynthesis as well as in respiration. Okay, and here chemiosmosis means what? Here chemiosmosis is the movement of ions across a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, and this process involves the movement of ions down their electrochemical gradient. Okay, and this process is used for the production of energy in the form of ATP in mitochondria, and this theory is known as chemiosmotic theory. Okay, and there is a gradient of H plus or protons, okay, or hydrogen ions which moves across the membrane. Okay, and this movement of protons results in the production of energy with the help of the enzyme called as ATP synthase, right? Or it is also called as the ATPase, right? And for question number 55, option 3 is the correct answer. Okay, then question number 56, what is the question here? Following are few characters of a disorder in human body. Okay, and the different statements what they have given here. A is inflammation of the mucous membrane of nasal passage, then B is watery secretions by mucous glands, then C is continuous sneezing, then D is eye watering, then E is rise in body temperature. Okay, and identify the disorder from the choices given below. Now all these symptoms or characters are related to which disease here? One is bronchial asthma, then second one is rhinitis, then third one is bronchial carcinoma, then fourth one is emphysema, right? And here for question number 56, option 2 is the correct answer. It is rhinitis. Okay, and remember, rhinitis is a viral infection that results in the inflammation of the mucous membrane of the nose of an individual, and even it often causes the release of watery secretions from the mucous glands, and continuous sneezing will be there, and eye watering will be there, and we can observe the rise in the body temperature, right? All these are the symptoms or the characteristics of the disease called as the rhinitis, right? Okay, so option 2 is the correct answer. Okay, then go for next question. 57, and this is the schematic representation. Okay, in a condensed schematic representation of dark reaction of photosynthesis given below, steps are indicated by alphabets. Select the options where the alphabets are correctly identified. Okay, and this is nothing but the dark reaction, or you can call it as the Calvin cycle, right? And for question number 57, option 3 is the correct answer. Okay, A refers to carbon dioxide fixation, B refers to phosphorylation, then C refers to reduction, and D refers to regeneration. Okay, A refers to carbon dioxide fixation. Okay, B refers to what? Phosphorylation, then C refers to regeneration, then D refers to C refers to reduction, then D refers to regeneration. So option 3 is the correct answer, right? Okay, then let us go for question number 58. Okay, it is a matching type of question. Match the plants of economic importance given under column 1 with their scientific names given under column 2 and choose the correct option. Okay, and in column 1 what you can observe, plants of economic importance, and in column 2 their scientific names are given, right? And here I will tell you the option directly. For question number 58, option 4 is the right answer. Option 4 is the right answer. And here A matches with P, spices. Okay, it means Syzygium aromaticum, right? And B matches with Q, pulses. Okay, Cajanus, Cajana, right? Then C matches with R. Okay, medicinal, Ada Toda Vesica. Then D matches with DS. Okay, S means what here? Sorghum vulgare. It is a cereal, right? Okay, so option 4 is the correct answer. Okay, and regarding all these plants, currently we are not going to study these particular examples in NCERT. Okay, and these were there in old PU syllabus under the chapter economic botany, right? Okay, then question number 59. Okay, if father shows normal genotype and mother shows a carrier trait for hemophilia, okay, then what are the different options given here? One is all the female offspring will be normal, and second one is all the female offspring will be carriers. Then third will be a male offspring has 50% chances of active disease. Then fourth one will be female offspring has probability of 50% to have active disease, right? And for question number 59, okay, option 3 is the correct answer. A male offspring has 50% chances of active disease, right? And remember, what is hemophilia here? Hemophilia is an inherited genetic disorder, okay? And even we call it as the sex-linked inheritance. Okay, and this disorder results in the impairment in the formation of the blood clots. Okay, and I told you it is an sex-linked or X-linked recessive disorder. Okay, and in this case, if the father is normal and the mother is carrier, then the female offsprings will be produced normal. The female offsprings will be normal or carrier but will not suffer from the disease. Okay, there are 50% chance that the males will develop the diseased state, right? So what is the correct option here? For question number 59, option 3, a male offspring has 50% chances of active disease. Okay, then let us go for last question, question number 60. What is the question here? According to Best and Taylor's theory, which of the following does not play any role in blood clotting, right? And again, this chapter is, this question is related to the concept called as body fluids and circulation. And in that chapter, in briefly, we are going to study the blood clotting mechanism, right? And here, regarding blood clotting concept, okay, there are different theories which have been proposed by different scientists on this particular process. And these theories explain the components involved and the mechanisms involved in the blood clotting. Okay, but according to Best and Taylor's theory, 4 components are involved in blood clotting. They are prothrombin, thromboplastin, calcium ions, and fibrinogen. Okay, and here thromboplastin released from damaged tissues activate the prothrombin to thrombin in the presence of calcium ions. The thrombin activates fibrinogen to fibrin, which forms the clot. Okay, so there is no any involvement of the platelets in the clotting according to Best and Taylor's theory. So for question number 60, what is the correct answer here? Option 3. Okay, platelets, they does not play any role in blood clotting. but the remaining will play the role in the blood clotting, like prothrombin, fibrinogen, as well as the calcium ions. Okay, and with this the discussion of KCET 2012 is completed. Thank you one and all.